just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Green Room. We've got a great show planned for you tonight, but first, in an empty grow tent. Let's check out what's been going on this week. I am resetting the grow tent, and there are a few things involved. The first step was to dismantle my vertical grow towers and get them out of the grow tent. Next, I ran my bucket systems with hypochlorous acid to clean any salt buildup. I focused on removing all of my fans from the grow tent so they can be cleaned, and also took apart the frame of the bucket system. Since I'm going to be changing my setup, I also took down my grow lights. I've been working hard all week on emptying everything out of my 20 by 10 by 8 Mylar grow tent. I've taken all the lights down, all the systems down. I've been wiping all the walls down and the floors daily with bleach and water to help sterilize so that we're ready for our next grow. And now it's time to enjoy the show.
All right, all my passionate plant people and garden enthusiasts, welcome to the Let's Get Growing show right here. It's time for the Green Room tonight. And not only is it really awesome to have all of you here with us, joining us tonight for the Green Room, it's also awesome to have our amazing co-hosts joining with us as well too here on the Green Room. We've got Natalie, the Fresh Princess, here with us.
Happy Monday, Enoch, and
It's
happy Monday,
Monday.
gardeners.
Yeah.
How's everyone doing tonight? I'm excited for tonight's show. We've got a great one, yet another great episode planned of the Green Room. Tonight, joining us in the Green Room, we've got Destin Novak, aka Texas Garden Guy.
Yep. And we've got Phil from Phil's Figs as well too. And these guys are great. It's awesome to have them here on the show. They also host their own show on Wednesday evenings at this time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, called The Garden Party. So that's right on. We got our party people in the house with us tonight, Natalie. So this will be really great.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to tonight's show, as always. Always good guests, and it's always a good conversation to look forward to. So I can't wait.
Yeah, definitely. Again, with these guys tonight, ought to be a great time. And also, everybody, too, I want to mention, too, you want to jump into our chat with us right now. Let us know you're here. Let us know where you're growing from, what you got growing on in your gardens. We'll have roll call coming up here in just a little bit here as well.
Yeah, and also to all our replay viewers, shout out to you all. For those of you that couldn't watch it live, let us know that you were here in the comments, and we appreciate you watching the replay.
Yes, definitely. Make sure that you let us know, just like everybody who's getting into the chat for roll call right now. You also get down in the description there. Also, hit that like button, hit the thumbs up while you're at it, as well as subscribe and share with all your friends. Let them know about our 3-day gardening weekend here on the Let's Get Growing show. That's right. We've already been here a couple of days already. We're here Saturday and Sundays, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And of course, right here for the Green Room on Mondays at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, to round out your 3-day gardening talk here on the Let's Get Growing show. And also, everybody, if you have any questions and comments who are here with us live, definitely jump into the chat as well, too, and ask your questions of our guests coming up here in just a little bit as well, too. Right on, Natalie.
Long weekend.
Yeah. Sometimes it's lots and lots of great stuff. Always some amazing guests here on our Let's Get Growing shows that we have, and definitely for the Green Room here on Monday evening. So again, looking forward to our guests later. But before we get to all of that, tell me a little bit. I was noticing there at the beginning here, we do our little opening clip. We did kind of talk about this a little bit as we ended the show last week. You kind of have to do, you're kind of working on a little reset over there in the grow tent. And of course, we didn't see you in the grow tent last week or this week, but things are kind of getting restarted over there, right?
Yeah, big reset, rethinking the whole setup. Everything in the garden's going to change based on the knowledge I've accumulated over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just going to do a little makeover of the grow tent. So,
Okay.
the
So,
process is underway. The grow tent is empty, and
yeah.
now just sterilizing, make sure it's nice and clean. And
Hmm.
in the next few weeks, we're gonna start anew. We're gonna be rigging up our systems that we currently have
Yeah.
and switching things around.
Switching it up, just kind of
Yeah,
like a, like you say, a makeover. So you're kind of, you just moving things around, or you really making
yeah.
over and doing some of the systems a little bit differently?
Everything is going to be strategic, right? So
Yeah.
I'm modifying the systems to optimize to mitigate issues I've experienced in the previous grows that I've had in the tent. So, I wrote down a list of all my problems, and we're tackling them one by one, and modifying the systems as needed, modifying the environment as needed.
Hmm.
There's a lot of variables when you're indoor growing, so just
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
everything in order, and I'm excited to share the process.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I suppose similar with even all of us outdoor gardeners and all of our different garden spaces that we have. Again, like you said, lots of different variables, lots of different things
Absolutely.
and all of that. But
Speaking of, tell us about your outdoor. How I'm assuming the weather's been nice and you've been able to get started a little bit?
yeah, well, it's I have been doing a little bit here, a little bit there, taking advantage of whatever opportunities I get weather-wise and schedule-wise. That's another big challenge again too this year, as well as last season and all of that. But getting out there and doing some stuff, just really, kind of breaking down a list of chores and, things that I've got to get done, just
Yeah,
pulling weeds and and again, similar like you're talking about too, not necessarily a makeover, but we're rearranging some things and changing some things up a little bit, with a couple of the spaces, our alleyway space and some things I want to do with the back patio space. But still more work to go as far as all that goes. I have been kind of getting some things going though too. I've had pepper seeds already. They're already sprouting up and getting going. I'm starting up my tomato seeds coming up for the
nice.
tomatoes that I'll have those going so I can try to get those out right in a nice timely manner. I'm hoping about a month before what our actual last frost date is here. I talked about that on the last show or two about
Yeah,
how I want, I'm trying to strategize, make sure I can get some good growing in before really the heat of summer really kicks in. And here it's been kicking in a lot earlier. And
yeah,
last year and the year before, I kind of regretted not getting my plants in, you know,
early.
about a month earlier. I think we could do, and it still presents that challenge whether or not there still could be frost. There could still be things that
Right.
happen and all of that.
Yeah.
But I'll just get out and I'll mitigate that. Cover some things up, do whatever I've got to do to kind of protect those plants. But as soon as the soil temps are ready and it's warming up and been getting warm around here, I want to get those plants out. So I got to get them started up. Got to get those ready to go. I did go by one of our local nurseries the other day and picked up some onions and some broccoli and some other things
Nice.
so that I can get out and get done. So they got it, they're starts. So they're
Yeah,
already been growing a while. So I
yeah.
can get them out there and hopefully finish up the cooler part of the season a little bit with those and get those onions going. It's just trying to get some things a little bit here and there going,
Yeah,
not,
I
not as
saw
much.
a couple of weeks ago we had From Dream to Seed on the Green Room, and she
Mhm.
actually just posted a video today talking about if you're going to start a garden, what a great idea to start a spring garden when the summer heat hasn't hit yet. You can do your cool
Yeah.
weather crops, and it's a really good time to maximize that growing season and get started early. So
Mhm.
it's funny that you
Yeah.
mentioned that because I just watched that about 5 minutes for
Yeah, exactly. And some of these things, they're pretty quick growers. They don't take too long, to grow. So you get them out as early as you can in the cooler
yeah,
part of the season and take advantage of that opportunity. And some things are pretty fast. Greens, a lot of my greens and lettuces that just kind of volunteer up. I let them go to seed last year, and so I got a bunch of them popping up and everything. They don't take very long to grow before you start to harvest them and everything. So you can have a bunch of stuff growing before you really get into those warmer season things that we all kind of really gear up for every year.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Always an exciting time.
Yeah. Also, I just want to mention though too, again, like you're saying about getting this restart, redoing some things and all of that too. And I'm just thinking of the similarities in a sense between outdoors and indoors, like you're doing, like when you get to do this restart and everything. You were talking about kind of learning from things that we've done before. Some of the things I'm changing and moving are kind of because, okay, well, things are, I learned that this works better here, or that, we've got some of these big pots, so I want to move them into a place that where they're going to really be able to take advantage of some of the sun. Where I had them before wasn't necessarily the best spot, right? So there's kind of these different things that you're changing up and thinking about because we're learning about stuff, constantly. Even myself, years and
Yeah,
years into this, I'm still learning things from season to season and making those
absolutely.
types of adjustments anyways, right? And that's
And
the similar thing that you're dealing with when you're making your changes and adjustments that you're doing with
yeah.
your grow room, right?
And I've had the same layout for the grow room for the last 3 years, and
Hmm.
now that I'm sharing my journey, that now that I'm learning so much, I feel, almost like there's no excuse for having, making the same mistakes and having the same results that I'm not
Yeah.
happy with. So it's time to make a change,
Time to make a change.
Time to
And
make
every
a change.
now and then you just got to do that too,
And it's new
some things.
beginnings, springtime, it's the perfect time.
Springtime, exactly, exactly. So, right on. And again, look forward to seeing what kind of changes and things that you come up with and
Yeah,
everything as well,
absolutely.
too.
I will
So
be sharing
everybody,
the journey.
remember you got links down below to Natalie's channel. You can go and follow along with her daily live streams and watch the progress of all of this new beginnings in the grow
New
tent. I
beginnings.
love
Yeah.
it. I love it. It's great. Right on, right on. Well, I guess it's about time here. We should go ahead and jump on in to the chat with all of our friends joining with us here today and see who we have here for a little bit of roll call.
My name is Kevin. Yeah. That is my name. Yeah. They call me Kevin. Yeah. Because that's my name. Roll call.
All right, all right. Let's see who we've got in the chat with us today. And of course, we want to start off our roll call with a good hello and thank you to our good friend, the J-Bot, joining us from Huron County, Midwestern Ontario, Canada.
Yeah,
Keep an
thank you,
eye
Jay.
out. Yeah, keep an eye out in the chat there for all the links and information that Jay shares with us throughout the show. And one of the things I also like to mention too is if you do have a channel and you haven't had a shout out or want a shout out here, Jay, let us know about your channel in the chat as well, and Jay will drop a link in for everybody to go check you out. All right, and we also have with us
Robin Gardens from Chicagoland. What's up, Robin? Thanks for joining us. Zipper greenhouses, 50% germination on the winter sown milk jugs. Nice. Spinach seedlings looking healthy. Woohoo. We have garden liftoff outside. Congrats, Robin. Always a good
yeah.
time when your garden is
Yeah. And
sprouting.
again, when we're hearing from our northern gardeners, that's good to hear that they're finally getting to get outside and getting things growing and doing
Yes.
that. That's nice, cool weather stuff and some things germinating out of our winter sowing jugs. It's awesome. Awesome. We also have EE2201. Good evening, TFP and Enoch. Thank you
What's up,
so
Ian?
much. Good evening to you. Thank you for being here with us tonight. It's great to have you here.
And we have Suburban Homesteader. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Right on. We also have Bernie 420 in there. TFP is going to come back stronger than ever. Absolutely.
Right.
That's right.
What's up,
Right.
Frank?
Excellent. Excellent. I just want to mention too, Jay says our gardening is mainly landscaping cleanup from the winter as snow just left recently. Yeah, it's nice for you northern gardeners to start thinking about what you could get growing out there in the garden now too.
Shawnee grows. Shawnee from our Grow What You Eat segment. Hi from Minnesota. Today I checked on the garden property. The Egyptian walking onions are up. Nice. Some tulips, no garlic, no asparagus, 80 degrees Fahrenheit today. Snow coming
80.
1 inch Thursday. Cool
Wow.
crops germinated. Nice. Sounds like you have a lot of productivity so far. You're busy, Shawnee.
Yeah, lots of stuff growing, but I mean, look at that temperature change. 80
Yeah.
degrees today. And then going from that to maybe some snow later on in the week. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. You gotta love this time of year with the adjusting temperatures. Let's see. We got Dusty Flats with us here today too. Says hello, everyone. Depressed after seeing voles. Ate a couple huge patches of Siberian irises. I have to find the best trapping method and bait as they are tricky. Never had them before. Oh, man, I feel for you folks who've got to deal with that sort of stuff every time. It's just the worst to grow something out, spend the time to put into it and everything, and then to have it just get eaten or destroyed by whatever type of pests that can just
and
really
those
mess them up.
sound like specialty irises too. They don't sound like
Yeah. It's definitely something you don't want to go out in your garden and not see there anymore.
Yeah.
For sure. Man.
And Bowtie Life, a Triple G, greetings, global gardeners from the Emerald Coast of the Florida Panhandle in the heart of Old Destin, where the weather is dreamy and Mrs. Bowtie is plotting to take over the world. Love it.
Right.
Nice, Bowtie. Welcome.
Absolutely. And then we also have food, forest, permaculture in the house as well too with us here. Good evening, Earthlings. I love that. That's great.
Gardening from Wyoming now. Been home from Arizona for about 10 days. Been sowing, planting seeds, working soil. Nice.
Excellent.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm getting. Did we already get? I don't think we did we?
What's up, Les? 81 days, 5 hours, and 44 minutes until summer. That's what we like to hear.
That's right. Exactly. Summer's on its way. Well, I'm on a good spring first, as I was saying. I want to get my tomatoes a good head start before we get our summer going around here for sure. Tell you what. But yeah, definitely always look forward to summertime though. We got Katrina from Solitaire joining with us from just right up the highway from me here up in Douglas County, Oregon. Got the garden planted yesterday. Long day listening while relaxing. Let's see here. Oh, yep, and welcome back. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did take a day off this weekend. That's right.
Oh, nice. Day off is always good.
You got to take one every now and then, right?
Doyle, good evening, growers. I'm here for the romaine wraps. What's up, Doyle? Good evening.
Right on. Shawnee's saying, late night seed shopped, ordered a box of seeds for indoor growing over the next year. I'm excited to keep microgreens going, trying new blends. That's right. There's so many great microgreens out there. You got to try all sorts of different stuff if you're going to do some microgreens. It's really great.
See, microgreens I'm not so good with. I don't know. I can't. I always let them either dry out or overwater them.
Yeah. No. But they're so good though. You gotta.
So good. They're so good.
Yeah, you have pea shoots are like my favorite thing ever, and I really gotta try to get. And that's been one of my problems though. Is I've been having issues with these pea weevils over the last couple of years, and so I don't have all of the pea seed that I would usually have for a lot of the pea shoots that I do. So I have to order some outside instead of getting them myself, like I have been for the last couple of years.
Oh, got to do what you got to do, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, right on, everybody. Thank you so much for jumping in for our oh my gosh, I'm totally losing
roll call.
What in the world is this? Yeah, but no, thank you everybody for jumping in for our roll call here today. And if we didn't get you mentioned, definitely continue to drop into the chat there. Let us know you're here. Let us know where you're growing from. And yeah, we'll try to get you featured that. And again, too, your questions too for our guests coming up as well. But I think it's about time here for a little segment we call Grow What You Eat. I think we got a bit of Robin from Robin Gardens this week.
Let's check it out.
Welcome to the green room. I'm normally the plant of the month girl, but this month there's an extra week in March, so that means a bonus video. I'm going to talk about doing a 3-foot by 5-foot square foot method bed and how to maximize production. You know, when you think about 3-foot by 5-foot, that's about the size of a patio table. But here's the fun part. If you plant thoughtfully and using the square foot gardening method, this tiny space can produce a surprising amount of real food for real meals. So I've oriented the bed instead of growing in long rows, we divide it into 15 square feet squares. And each square grows a different crop depending on how much room that plant needs. So let's walk through this little food factory square by square. First up are the tomatoes, because let's be honest, it's why we all got into gardening in the first place. I like to plant a mix of cherry and slicers because the cherries, they come on fast and they just keep going. They're little flavor nuggets and beginner friendly. Then the big ones are good for your BLTs, your burgers, your tomato sandwiches. Just remember to give tomatoes a cage or some kind of vertical support, especially in this small footprint garden. Next, we have the Swiss chard, and you know how much I love my Swiss chard. Just keep pulling the outer leaves for harvests and letting the center grow, and it will go right up to frost. This square holds 2 plants. Chard is fantastic sauteed with garlic and oil, or cut into thin strips and tossed into soups or pasta. And then next up are the beets. We plant 9 beets in each 1-foot square. The beets are one of my favorite crops because it's a bonus cropper. You eat the roots and you eat the leaves. Beet greens are delicious when you saute them, or when they're picked young, mix them into salad. Another trick with beets is succession planting. As you harvest a few roots, you simply drop in a few more seeds into the square. Keeps those harvests coming. Right next to that, we've got bunching onions. The square holds 9 clumps of bunching onions, and these are perfect for small gardens because they don't form big bulbs. You have the option here, harvest 1 or 2 at a time for a recipe, or harvest an entire clump. You also have the option of just harvesting them like green onions. Here's the great part. When you cut them, leave about 1 inch. Let them grow back. You will keep getting the green tops to grow again. And those onion tops are delicious for salads, for omelets, for stir fries, for tacos. Pretty much anything that just needs a little bit of yummy fresh onion flavor. Next comes the romaine lettuce. This square holds 4 plants, and instead of harvesting the whole head, you simply pick the outer leaves when you need them. That's called cut and come again. This turns 1 plant into weeks of salads. And when they finish up, just reseed it with more lettuce to keep the harvests coming. Let's talk about carrots next. I've dedicated 2 squares, 15 carrots each. That's a total of 30. Carrots are perfect for square foot gardening because they grow straight down and don't take up too much room in the soil. Harvest them for a small sweet snack, or let them grow bigger and roast them. Honey and thyme, roasted carrots equals yum. Next we have the potatoes. 2 squares here as well. 3 plants in each square for a total of 6 plants. In a raised bed, potatoes do really well if you keep adding soil or mulch to the stems to keep them from going green. You won't feed the whole neighborhood, but you'll absolutely get enough for a few great meals. Think roasted garden potatoes, skillet potatoes, fresh potato salad with herbs, and potatoes you grew yourself. They really do taste better. I mean, they taste yum. Now we move into the crops that really start pumping out the food. First up are those bush beans. We've got 1 square of purple bush beans and 1 square of yellow wax beans. The 9 plants in each square are gonna just pump out the food. I chose purple because they're easy to see and you can keep on top of picking. Kids love them because they're magical, don't you know? They start out purple, you cook them, and they turn green. I chose yellow wax beans. Well, hello, because they are the tastiest bean to eat. So here's the final harvest from those 3 wax bean bushes. Bush beans are incredibly productive. Once they start producing, you'll often be harvesting every couple of days. And when 1 square slows down, pull the plants and you can simply plant another round of seeds and keep the harvests going. Fresh beans steamed with butter and a little salt, that's pretty hard to beat. Beans also blanch and freeze with ease for a mid-winter treat. Next up, our herb square. This one I chose 3 different herbs: cilantro, dill, parsley, and thyme. Herbs take up very little space, but they're huge flavor bombs to the meals you prepare with the rest of the veg. Parsley and dill are fantastic in roasted vegetables or potatoes. Cilantro, well, salsa and tacos. And thyme pairs beautifully with carrots, potatoes, and beans. Well, thyme pretty much pairs well with just about anything. It's my favorite herb. A small herb garden goes a long way towards the end of the season. You can take what's left over and dehydrate it and then use those herbs all winter long. Finally, we finish up with 2 pepper plants. Peppers love the warm soil of those raised beds, and 2 plants can easily provide a steady harvest for weeks. Slice them fresh into salads, toss them into stir fries, cook them up with onions and tomatoes for fajitas. It's amazing how many meals are going to show up with peppers in them. Now, when you step back and look at the whole bed, something pretty cool happens. In just 15 square feet, a 3x5 bed, you've got tomatoes and peppers and potatoes and carrots and beans and beets and lettuce and onions and chard and fresh herbs. That's the foundation for a lot of yummy meals, all from the garden that's basically the size of a small patio table. And because several of these crops can be reseeded as you harvest them out, like the beets and the carrots and the lettuce and the bunching onions and the bush beans, the beds keep producing instead of finishing all at once. That's the secret to making small gardens incredibly productive. Remember, grow what you eat and eat what you grow.
Ivory Organic was founded on the gardening concept of whitewashing, simply lightening your plants to better tolerate weather extremes, transplant shock, and so much more. Such a valuable gardening practice that farmers have been doing it since BC times. However, in recent years, most research has been caring for plants and trees using latex and tar-based products which are designed to last 100 years but fall off your plants within 1 to 2 years as your plants grow, contaminating your garden soil indefinitely. Ivory Organic gives organic commercial orchards and backyard growers an organic and healthier alternative. Also, unlike latex and tar-based products, Ivory Organic thrives on porous, allowing moisture and nutrients to pass so that your coated surfaces such as grafting wounds and pruned branches will not rot. Ivory Organic has two general categories of whitewash products. The 3-in-1 Plant Guard, which includes 7 natural oils, including castor, cinnamon, clove, garlic, peppermint, rosemary, and spearmint, which offer insect and rodent repellent protection, and the whitewash oil-free formula. Both products also have diatomaceous earth in the base ingredients, which naturally offer some insect repellent protection too. As always, keep growing with Ivory Organics, and wishing you all happy gardening.
Why wait for the right season to start your garden when you can grow anything you want all year round? This is my indoor garden where I grow all of my own produce regardless of the season. Aeroponically grown food, pesticide-free, all organic. The mission is to inspire and educate others to do the same. Whether you're limited in space or not, an indoor garden can be your reality. Follow along as I explore all the ways to achieve a successful indoor garden. From aeroponic Dutch buckets to vertical grow towers, I experiment with all kinds of grow mediums and varieties. Let's learn and grow together and reclaim our food sovereignty.
All right, here we are back at it here on the green room here with Natalie and I. How are we? And
We're back.
actually, we're back. But everybody, definitely get down below in the description. Check out a link to Robin Garden's channel and go check out what she's got growing on over at her channel. Thank you so much, Robin, to putting together a great Grow What You Eat segment for us this week.
Yeah,
for sure.
what a great segment. I know for me, I don't really plan much, so seeing how she does it actually makes it not look so much of a a workload before the actual
Right. Yeah, she definitely makes it look easy for sure, right? But and that's the thing. Things aren't that hard. We can just do a little planning and get some things together and grow some really amazing things.
I think the planning is the hard part.
That's right. And then actually implementing the plan too, because then that's when things really get fun, because nothing ever goes as planned, as they say with anything else. And that's definitely true in the garden for sure. Right on. Well, let's check out what we had growing on here this weekend on the Let's Get Growing show. In fact, I just mentioned just a little bit earlier, I took the day off on Saturday, and our good friend Jay Dixon, the J-Bot, took over the show, hosted a show for us, and had our friend Katrina from Sow and Tear, another contributor to the Grow What You Eat segment, on with Jay, having a great chat on Saturday. So if you didn't get a chance to check out the Saturday show, definitely go and check that out for sure. And on yesterday, the Sunday edition of the show, we had Tony O'Neill from Simplify Gardening on with us to talk all about his new app that he's releasing here. In fact, we have an exclusive, and I know that Jay will be sharing a link for everybody in the chat there, but we had an exclusive Let's Get Growing pre-release for his new app called Grow Track. And so he was on the show with us yesterday to talk all about this really cool new it's not like any other type of apps that they're out there for gardening and all of that. This is just a really, really curated information, everything. It's not like one of those AIs that goes out into all of the internet and tries to find whatever answer it thinks fits your question, all of it. Everything that you get from this app is all like curated to the best information directly from Tony, and he's written a couple of great books. He's just excellent on gardening science and all that sort of stuff. So Grow Track is just going to be a really awesome new way for people to get familiar with their garden. And it's kind of like basically having like a gardening assistant with you.
Yeah.
That remembers everything that you're doing. Yeah, it's really cool. For those who, are into technology and those sort of things, it's really a great opportunity to be able to really get more in depth with your garden. We kind of talked about it like journaling. You get we'd like to journal. I've saved many years worth of different types of journals I've kept on the garden and all that. But the difference with having this app or garden assistant in a way is that it remembers everything from all of your journals and is recalling those as you're trying to figure out and do things versus having to go visit that stack when I'm like, oh, what was I doing about 2 seasons ago, when it came to this, and having to go find that information. It's all readily there, available, right from this app and everything too. So it's really great. I hope people get a chance to check it out. We've got an exclusive first in for everybody if you go check out that link that Jay shared with everybody on Grow Track. And then also, we were here last week for the green room. I mean, what a show was last week. I'm telling you, I'm still
4,000 tomato varieties. I'm still going crazy over that one.
I know. We had Craig Lullier, author of Epic Tomatoes, joining with us, along with our other co-host from the book club, Mark Boucher-Colbert, was on the show with us last week for the green room. And man, that was, we kept Craig going with just massive amount of tomato questions. We had so many questions last week that we really weren't even able to get to most of them. So we're definitely going to have him back on again to talk more about tomatoes for sure. Huh?
Did you end up emailing him any questions from the chat, or I remember he recommended we can email him.
Yeah, we'll have to get back on that for sure. But another big recommendation though is to follow along with him. He's got a great Instagram page and everything as well too, and he's really responsive to people. So again, just a great guest. It was such a great show. Just had so much fun last Monday on the Green Room. So I hope you all get a chance to go back and check it out if you didn't get a chance at all. And of course, go and check out Natalie over at the Fresh Princess on her daily live streams as well too, for sure. You have a great week last week, right?
Yeah, a lot of
getting restarted, right?
Yes, every day there's work to be done. So
that's right.
I feel like I make people feel lazy with all the work. A lot of people are like, I should get up and probably do something in my garden.
That's I know, it's great, but it's great that you do that every single day. So we're here on the weekends, but you can catch up with Natalie every single day. We've got links down below for all of that as well.
You know what? That's what I love. There's always something going on in the growing community. Always something. Whether it's the Let's Get Growing show over the weekend, or it's other live streams happening. So many people in the community.
What a great
something happening.
Yeah, what a great segue to our green room guests today too. Talk about putting on some great content out there. We've got the party people in the house from the garden parties tonight, right? Right, absolutely. So let's go ahead and get into this. Let's do this. It's time for the green room. All right. Let's welcome these guys to the show. We've got with us here Justin.
Hey, what's going on?
Guy. There he is.
Justin.
And we've got with us Phil. Phil's Figs.
What's up?
All right. Awesome.
Welcome.
Guys.
I feel like it's already a garden party, and you guys just got here.
I love it. Always a good time here with you guys as well too. For sure.
How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good for a Monday.
Yeah, Mondays, right?
Mondays are Mondays, but I rooted 10 trees in 20 minutes in my backyard before work, before my
10 trees in 20
work,
minutes.
And then I'm it sets your day right.
Yeah. That's perfect. Well, here we go. Let's get this all going here, just like you guys do on your show. We do here as well. Give you guys a minute or two to introduce yourselves to everybody and let everybody know where they can find you and what you got growing on.
Destin, you go first.
Yeah, Destin. There we go. Let's put him on. I know. I got to remember to direct this stuff too. That's for
I like
having multiple guests is something a little different for me.
Usually, Destin's my moderator. Right? He's like, "Oh, you talk now, Phil."
Yeah, I've actually learned so much from you, Enoch, because I when I first started doing the garden party, it was just like a free for all. It was just like the Wild West on the garden party, and so I at the beginning of 2026, we're like, hey, we're gonna structure the podcast. We're going to kind of break it up and give it some structure, and we're going to keep it an hour.
That was
We're
a
going to
great
just do
phone
it.
conversation. We were just like talking. It was like Sunday morning. Me and Dustin like hit each other up. Like, what do you think about this? He's like, that's great. Like, what about this? And just like getting our systems dialed because we're like, Enoch has it dialed, man.
Oh,
Yes.
right.
And you're the reason I use StreamYards, but I'm
Yeah.
Destin Nowak. I'm out of Houston, Texas. I go by Texas Garden Guy pretty much everywhere you can find videos or anywhere you can find plant stuff, you're gonna find Texas Garden Guy. And so yeah, and then I'm buddies with my good friend Phil, Mr. Phil's Figs. How's it going, dude?
Yeah, what up, everybody? My name's Phil, Phil's Figs. I'm out of Wilmington, North Carolina, and I am just moving into being a retired old Italian man at 39. But I grow everything else, but I do specialize in fig trees because I just can't help but garden every day. And so they're one of my favorite things to propagate and eat, surprisingly so. And then I juggle it with 3 kids, other jobs, and all the things. You know, we just meet. You guys were talking just a second ago about like having energy all the time, and I'm like, I just like to move. Like you just kind of keep moving. Like if you have downtime,
You like to move it.
I'm just gonna go piddle out in the garden. All of a sudden, there's 3 more trees. You know,
just like that, right?
Yes.
The addiction is real, no matter what you're growing. It is real. So I agree you on that one. You guys are not alone.
I went to a plant swap this weekend, and I sold quite a few of my desert roses, and I just looked at it as like, oh, I've got room for other stuff now. Like
That's right.
You become a Tetris
That's the magic
master.
of opening up a space. Is now it's ready for something new.
Well, I was talking to Destin too, and he's got a system dialed where his garden beds are so modular that he's just like, okay, I'm going to move these beds here. I'm going to configure it this way. And it's actually going to flow better. Like he can just like inception his backyard to make it fit nicer.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about that just a little bit earlier as we are getting the show started. As Natalie's resetting and taking the opportunity to kind of reset and do things with the garden. It's like it's kind of fun to be able to do that, but to be able to have it set up to where you can easily move things and change things around.
Yeah, for sure. Having a modular garden is where it's at, because then you can just every season, if you want to pivot or try something new, you can achieve that easily. So I like that.
It's kind of like a lab space. And like Natalie, I was looking at your stuff today because we just met each other. It seems like, and it's so cool. Like you have all your systems, right? So it's all like efficiencies and getting things dialed. And like even in an outdoor space, I still feel that way.
Yeah.
Even the 6 years I've lived in this home, like where what if this does better? Like things aren't growing. Okay, let's change it up. And it's kind of like a big lab space of what works best.
Yeah. And that's what I love. Any type of growing, it's all about experimenting, right? So we all share that in common. Love it.
Yeah. I love finding those similarities though between the outdoor growing experience versus like what you do as well, with the indoor stuff. It's really amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's very cool. Each has its own, set of challenges, but there's a space where we kind of connect and have a lot of things in common. So
yeah. I had a conversation with someone this weekend. We're talking about desert roses, and people like the flowers. They don't know. Some people just don't know anything about them. They're like, "Oh, can you grow these indoors?" I was like, "Well, sure, you can absolutely grow these indoors." I was like, "But they won't bloom, and they're going to grow very slow." And so they're like, "Oh, why don't you do indoor plants?" It's like, I do a lot of indoor plants too, but then when they start to die, I take them outside and they thrive. It's like everything I feel like does better outdoors. Like when you're doing indoor plants, you're just trying to manipulate an outdoor environment indoors to best your ability. It's so complicated.
I hear you all when you say that, but then I look at I'm like, oh man, I just putting them out there with those outdoor bugs and things going on.
Depends what we're talking about though, right? It depends on the plant.
Yeah. Well, and I'm also in Houston where I've got a very tropical, 10 month out of the year growing season. Yeah. So I always tell the story. I bought 2 fiddly figs at the same time. I kept one indoors and one outdoors. The one outdoors I have to cut in half about twice a year and propagate it. The one indoors is still about 2 feet tall. And it grows maybe 3 or 4 inches a year. But the one outdoors grows 3 feet every 6 months. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's the same thing with me. I grow zinnias outdoors and indoors, and the ones outside, it's always more of a set it and forget it. I mean, all you got to do is water
Yeah.
and
Right.
nutrients here and there, but I don't really do much to my outdoor garden, and it's much less stressful.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you know what? It's okay. I like the stress. So
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Love the challenge.
Oh, for
Exactly.
sure.
Yeah, and there ain't nothing like the real sun, though, too, as
Yeah.
indoor gardeners and, the indoor lights. It's really bright in here all the time because I got good indoor lights for everything. But there's nothing that's going to beat the actual sun when it comes down to it. And those plants are going to love
It's
that.
the same. It's like rainwater. It's like you're trying to with your hose water, you're just trying to recreate or have a layover until you have rain again. And indoor setups, it's just because we don't have I propagate indoors too with some of my fig cuttings because I just don't have the environment, but I'm going to have the demand. So you try to just see how well you can get ahead of the curve to try to accelerate an abundance, basically.
Yeah. Sounds like you need a grow tent.
I do, but if I have a grow tent in here, my kids will be like, cool for it. I'm going to take this now.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
That's
that
for
lasted
sure.
10 seconds, but
That's awesome. At least it'll serve as a dual purpose, right? So if you don't use it for your cuttings, then at least your kids can hang
exactly.
in it.
Well, I did get a grow tent, and it helped me get started because we had such a cold February. I have a greenhouse that I try to propagate in, but we had the coldest back-to-back years here where it snowed, and we have it snows every 20 years here, and it snowed back-to-back years.
Wow.
And so I couldn't even propagate in my greenhouse. And so until end of February. So the grow tent, I got a little 5-footer just to get some trays going, get a grow light going, and just to get started. And so it definitely helped, but I had to dial in my humidity and all of that stuff a little better too.
Yeah. More learning fun for sure. Yeah.
Speaking of fun, should we jump into
Yes. Yes, I think it's time for what we call the lightning round. Lightning round. All right. Love my little bumpers, right? I know you guys love that.
I'll say I'm making notes all the segment stuff I want to steal from you, not for
this. We don't have to compete against Jay, do we? Because she knows.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh man, I've had this perfect the last couple of weeks.
That's Enoch's voice, by the way, saying lightning round.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So something we like to do at the beginning of each green room is put you guys in the hot seat, do a little lightning round. You got 60 seconds to answer 10 questions. First thing that comes to mind, just have fun with it. And it helps the audience get to know you a little better. We're going to start off with Destin. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
All right.
Nick,
We'll get this
whenever
going.
you're ready, we're ready to rock and roll.
All right. As soon as the timer gets going, we're off and running.
First plant you ever successfully grew?
A fig tree.
Most overrated garden trend right now?
Banana peels.
One crop every Texas gardener should grow?
Peppers.
Tomatoes or peppers, choose one forever.
Tomatoes.
Raised beds or in ground?
Raised beds all the way.
Compost pile, messy or perfectly managed?
Perfectly managed.
Hardest lesson gardening ever taught you?
Everything dies.
One plant that humbled you?
Oh God. Squash.
Morning walks or evening watering sessions?
Evening water sessions with garden beers.
Nice. And one gardening tool you can't live without?
My Felcos.
Nice.
Nice.
Right, that's it.
Look at that, man.
You got all of it with 10 seconds to spare. I think you broke
This
a
is
record.
this is a record, I
You
think.
broke
I'm
a
sure of
record.
it.
The quickest, I think, was 5 seconds to spare.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm
for the
sure of
record,
it.
when we do our lightning round, this is as fast as everybody. I want everybody to respond. This is.
The pressure's on.
The pressure's on, man. I'm gonna be like,
oh my God.
This is great. This is
Well,
great.
this is a
Great
question.
job, Destin. Now it's Phil in the hot seat. Are you ready,
All right,
Phil?
Phil.
Not gonna beat me.
I don't know. Let's go.
Let's
All
go.
right.
Here we go. When the
go.
timer gets going.
Are figs easier than tomatoes? Yes or no?
Yes.
Most overrated gardening trend right now?
Oh my gosh. Pass.
One fig myth you wish would disappear forever?
That they're easy when they're young.
Best beginner fig variety. No overthinking allowed.
Hardy Chicago Mount Etna types.
All right. First fig variety you'd grow if starting from scratch today.
Hardy Chicago Mount Etna types. Marseille Black.
All right. Container figs or in-ground figs? Choose one forever.
In-ground.
All right. Most overrated fig variety?
Brown turkey.
One mistake almost every new fig grower makes.
Your cuttings are too wet when you're propagating.
Favorite season? Favorite season in the fig
Spring
garden.
and summer.
If you could only keep 3 fig varieties, which survive the cut?
Salche, Figo Preto, and Col de Dames.
I didn't even know there were that many fig varieties. I Googled it today, and that was astounding. So good answers.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
I had to throw a pass in there, but
Yeah, so
I should have said electroculture.
Is that the most
that's a good
overrated
one.
gardening trend?
There you go.
It's definitely the one that doesn't work.
That's a debate for another day, right, Dustin?
Oh, you certainly can have it for sure.
You guys did a great job. Thank you for
Absolutely.
being such good
Record set today. How about that?
I want my name. I want my name on the wall or something. I want some kind of board,
That's
some kind of leaderboard.
That's right. That's right.
So, Destin, the first plant you grew, really, was it a fig tree?
The first plant I in my own apartment, or my own house that I grew was a fig tree because we had one growing up. Like here in Texas, everybody's grandma had a fig tree in their backyard. I mean, like everybody had a fig tree, and so I think I bought my grandpa a fig tree and I took a cutting, and then that is to the races with that.
Nice.
Yeah. They're easy. They're so easy, especially in the ground. Like Phil said, oh my God, put them in the ground. They take care of themselves. You don't even have to water them normally.
Right.
Yeah. Figs are amazing.
I give them the 3-year rule, especially when they're young, right? So sleep, creep, and leap, right? And so if you have a really young tree, it's not ready to go in the ground, especially if you're on a cusp zone like 7 and 8. Take care of them, baby them because they're babies. And then when they're about 2 feet tall, put them in the ground, give them good watering. And then that 3rd year, let them do their thing if you have sufficient space. And then if you're in colder zones, that's when you're going to want to still wrap them in things.
Nice. Good tips. So I guess we'll start with you, Destin. Why don't you guys tell us both a little bit about how you got started how you got into gardening in the first place?
Yeah, no, I mean, growing up, we always had a garden. I wasn't as into it as I am now, obviously, but I don't think it's hard to get a kid small kids. Yeah, they're always interested, like Phil's kids, digging holes and eating bugs and stuff. But for me, I was I wasn't really that into it. I enjoyed it at an early age, but I kind of wore out. And then when I got home, when I got out of the Air Force, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't really know what my path was. I didn't know. And my dad just, sent me out back in the garden. He said, here, we're going to fill up this section of the yard. You just go to work, get to work, and whenever you're in the back, when you're driving a tractor or you're tilling something up, your mind just kind of goes into like a trance and you don't think about anything else, and that was one of my first, I like this, I like this. And so, once I got my own apartment, I started growing things in the balcony, and then we bought our house. I told my wife, I was like, I just want whatever I want to do with the backyard. You can do whatever you want with the house, and rest is history. It's crazy.
Wow, that is awesome. And I know exactly what you mean. Gardening is one of those things where you can just totally zone out, think about nothing but the task at hand.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What about yourself, Phil?
Oh, I'm similar. Like both of my parents gardened. I grew up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, out in Amish country, and my whole dad's side's from Philadelphia, and a lot of it was an Italian side. So there was always my great grandfather apparently had this beautiful garden, an apple tree with 4 different types of apples grafted on it, fig trees, rows and rows of tomatoes they canned for the winter, things like that. And my mom's side from central Pennsylvania, they were all in the farming world too, and I was kind of smack dab in the middle in Amish country, but we just had gardens growing up in development I had. And there was always a garden associated with it. So when I started living on my own, it was commonplace just to have a garden. And then when I was 25, I traveled Europe and I went back to my roots and I found the towns my family was in. I stayed with like a friend's third cousin and I had fresh figs for the first time. I'm like, that's a fig? And they're like, that's a fig. I'm like, you eat this all the time? He's like, yeah, why don't you? And I was like, no. And I went back. When I came back, I got my first fig tree from a guy up in Boston. I was living in Boston at the time. And then by the time I moved down here to Wilmington for graduate school, grad school was really stressful. I changed a lot of things in my life and I was really stressed out. And one of the things that helped me cope with it all was gardening. And I had a balcony garden just like Destin. And I just started propagating, and figs were always in the picture, but I didn't have the space until I got home. And so as I started building it out, and propagating was a very therapeutic thing for me, then I ended up just starting a plant nursery like 8 years later, being like, what if? And then here we are.
Wow. Right.
That is amazing.
I'm gonna start like rewriting your story. When people ask me about you, I'll be like, "Yeah, Phil was like on a Mennonite community. He grew up. He went on Rum. he went on Rumspringer and then never came back."
Well, how did you two connect? Because you guys have the Garden Party podcast together. You guys are,
Wednesday nights, 5 p.m. Pacific.
Isn't that great when you just like
Garden Guy channel?
You got to check us out on Wednesdays. Yeah. Destin's the captain. I'm right there with him, but he had the Texas Garden Guy show, and he's like, "Who is this guy obsessed with figs?" Which is a common question when they see me and stuff. And like, I'm in the fig community, so I know a lot of other fig people out there, but people who don't are like, I guess I'm doing some good SEO stuff, but but Destin and I hit it off in the podcast doing his show, and he's like, "What if you joined in on me?" And it was really nice because we vibed right away. Like, I'll visit him, and he needs to come up here to Wilmington. But we just have started a great friendship, and it just out of like being enamored with gardening and the community that we've helped like connect all these people to us and other people. It's like, it's too much fun. So every time we start this podcast, it's such a jazz. Like I get jazzed up after this. So it's always, that's how you know just to keep doing it.
Well, you guys got that good intro song that you guys did that you both can play though too. I love that, which is really great. I love that. But that's great. When you find good people that you that you really connect with and all of that, especially being able to do this online stuff, you got to grab them up and get them going on. That's exactly why Natalie's here with us on the green room.
Oh yeah.
She came on the show. I was like, oh no, we hit it off right away. I know we could talk a lot of great gardening stuff. And then the next thing about that too, is like you're saying, is what an amazing community out there of people and, and all of that when you start connecting with them online and finding all these just awesome gardeners out there and creating and, getting to not only with your show, and these shows as well, connect with the folks who come and join with us and the audiences with us live and everything, but also connecting with the wider gardening community through our guests and people that we get to have with us each and every week to have these just really amazing gardening conversations. Right.
Like, a lot of times everyone there's a lot of people that want to get in the garden, like to get in gardening about 5 minutes in. Sometimes you start to lose them because you're like, oh, you like gardening? All right, let me talk about mycorrhizae. And they're like, whoa. But there's times that you meet other people, and where all of a sudden an hour goes by. And you're like,
it's like you can talk for hours about gardening or plants or,
Well, and I always tell everybody that, they ask, why do you do this every Wednesday night? Why do you do this? I was like, as a content creator, you spend all this time, in the garden, shooting videos, editing. For an hour every week. I have the most amount of fun. I get good engagement, and I have the least amount of effort. Like, it's effortless. It's just turn the camera on and talk and interact. And so it's so easy. And why wouldn't someone do this? Why wouldn't? I encourage anybody.
You mean this can be easy?
Yeah, man, it's freaking easy. Not everybody.
I could just do this easy
and like commercials.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
you guys are all leveled up, but I must say, like, we walk away with, and it's almost like a life hack where I make friends, I learn something new and awesome. And I still get to reconnect with other people that are like-minded in the garden. And like gardeners, it crosses every cultural and societal realm, like every tier of person gardens,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
because we've had people on that aren't even like necessarily gardeners. Like last week we had the Texas Parks Wildlife. Like they came on and we're promoting their native seed giveaway kind of thing, like they're doing with HEB here in Texas. And so like it wasn't necessarily something like that really could help Phil out because they're Texas and he's North Carolina, but we found out one of the girls was a geologist, and so like they hit it off,
Right.
and like so you can always find connections with people, when you're in this space. There's always ways to find connections.
Yeah,
for sure. And I feel like after you do, I'm sure after I do a live stream, so I'm sure you guys feel the same after a podcast. You kind of feel like you're on a high after because you've connected with all these people, exchanged all these great
typically
ideas.
buzzed. Not much.
Yeah. Just a light buzz.
I
to
agree.
each their own. To each their
Oh
own.
my gosh, we just talked to that person for 40 minutes. Like, what? I get it.
Yeah. No, I mean, to me, it's one of the most fun things is to get in this seat here and hang out every weekend and doing all these shows and getting to connect with everybody. And I don't know about you guys, but I still we're well over 200 shows into this, and I still kind of I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the conversation, but clicking that live button is still kind of like, oh, I guess here we go. And then you do it, and then all of a sudden, boom! It's just here's this great community, this great conversations, all that sort of stuff. And then, like you said, it's I finished the show like, wow, this was just so awesome. And not only that, wishing I had like an extra hour or two and all of that as well. I know you guys kind of cut it down though. You're making sure you're sticking to an hour, right? You guys have been right on top of it too.
Well, we used to go until like we had nothing to talk about anymore, and like it would be sometimes a 2-hour podcast. And we kind of talked about it and we're like, hey, 2026, we want to take it to the next level. We want to step our game up. We want to get more engagement. We want to bring on the right guests and really build this podcast. So this is our season 4 of the podcast. So it's crazy.
I know we started around the same time, so I can't believe it. We've been doing
I was like
4 years.
Yeah. And so I told Phil, and Phil was like, hey, let's do an outline for something simple as like an outline, and so we started doing an outline for each episode, and hey, we're going to stick to an hour exactly. Like leave them wanting more. So we bring that guest on next time. We still have some stuff to talk about,
And that, make it succinct. Make a nice like extract out of 1 hour and see get all the good stuff all at once. And it seemed to have done really well. And where albeit there are times where I'm like, whoa. It's already 7:48. Like, what happened? We didn't
even get to the good stuff yet.
Well, and the other goal was to put it in segments so that because a lot of times when I absorb podcasts, I'm not even watching the whole podcast. I'm watching clips of the podcast. So maybe like a 2-hour conversation, but I'm hearing like 10 minutes of it. So like I was like, oh, if we break this up and outline it into segments, we can kind of make some clips, put them out, and then also get engagement to the full episodes. And so that was kind of the goal as well.
That's awesome.
But we have a lot of we are definitely ADD as hell, so we get off on some tangents from time to time.
We need a good tangent.
Hey, that can happen.
You know what? Even without that, it's when you're into gardening, there's so many different ways a conversation could go, and there's so many different ways you could take a conversation that it's actually very easy to go off on tangents. So I do it all the time.
Well, and Phil needs to do his own. Like Phil needs to do like a whole entire like weekly fig podcast. Like
just figs.
Like just like this, where I've been telling him for years, like Phil, do like a weekly live stream just on figs, man. The fig cast. The fig cast.
I need to take the time to have it happen, and I think it's been good practice up into this, doing it with Destin, where I think I can just hit the record button, do some Q&A, and bring the fig community together, because the fig community, they're all gardeners, and it's all like basically like a skill set in propagating and growing in mixed climates, right? So it's a really good utility gardener to be able to grow fig trees wherever you are. And then on top of that, then the derivative is that it's a gateway fruit tree for growing every other fruit tree and everything else, right? Just because it fruits so early, it's a great entry level fruit tree to begin with, although it has more difficult varieties. And so I think it would be a great asset for everybody in the regular garden community to do figs, and I think everybody in the fig community to do everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Phil's Friday Fig Cast.
because I always try to throw a segment in the outline for figs. So I feel like people still have more questions and like that. And it's like, so like he could do like a 30-minute podcast, like a live stream once a week and make it the Figcast. I think it'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Feels Fig
I feel
Friday.
like it's
That's
something
right.
that's so niche, but at the same time, because it's so niche, nobody's really talking about it in that way, you know, like a live stream or a show about it. So that could be a really
go own the space, Phil. Go own that space.
I got 3 subscribers right here, and then
he doesn't brag about this. So I'm gonna brag on Phil. So Phil has like the best engagement I've ever seen on a channel. So I don't know what your count. I don't know what your count is right now, Phil. But I think like back when you had like 1,500 subscribers
on YouTube.
Yeah. But back when you had like 1,500 subscribers, his videos would get like 1,500 views. Like it was like, you know, when you put out a video, you're like, oh, if I have 20,000 subscribers, you know, if it's not, maybe it's not a viral one, maybe 200 to 2,000 people are going to see it, you know. But like everyone was watching his videos. Like it's so much so he was so niche that when he did a potato video, he was like, nobody watched my potato.
Nobody cares.
But yeah. I just like to have like a topic. I walk through the orchard and I say like, this is what I'm doing today and this is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, like I learned in like business presentation, like tell them what you're going to tell them and then tell them what you've told them. Right. And then, but it's thanks, man. Destin said the funniest thing to me once. I'll rent free in my head. Ready for this? Destin said, Phil, you could squeeze water out of a dirt-filled sock and people would watch it. I was like,
that's great.
But
I must have had a buzz when I said that. I don't remember saying that. That's pretty good. I'm gonna use it again.
But no, but what happened, like, I learned so much about other gardening things with Destin and like the community that we had on the garden party that now I'm like growing all these other things and it's starting to get some nice momentum going. And I do have to give a big shout out to the Millennial Gardener because he's my other garden buddy here in the Wilmington area. And he found out from my stuff and we just get to nerd out over figs and just being like, you know, Italian American guys from outside Philly living down here in North Carolina now, but like
yeah.
I between him and Dustin, it's been such a good intro to the gardening social world.
Yeah, great community of people, always fun. And as we were saying though too, we've already got some questions popping in here through the chat, and as we know, they're aimed towards figs. You know,
and by the way, we took all of Enoch's cool people that are in the chat. So if you don't follow us, you're not cool. So you better go follow us too.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Phew,
all the cool folks are over at the
all the strong Jack dudes. All the strong Jack dudes follow us. So if you don't follow us, you're not strong as Jack.
No.
Love it. Katrina's in there asking Phil, what's the best way to propagate figs? How wet is too wet to stick a stick in the ground and expect it to grow?
I love like really like general like functional things like I do. Okay, so when you're propagating, I just use coconut coir or cocoa peat. And don't use peat. It's just when it becomes hydrophilic, it's too soppy. And then I do a 50% that, 50% perlite. And then I mix it together and then I wet it down. If you can squeeze water out of it, it's too wet. You just want to squeeze it tight and you want it damp. And then that way you can go with that. And you can give it a spritz every once in a while. And I literally, if it looks really dry on top, look at the bottom of the cups or the trays and see if it's wet on the bottom. If it's wet on the bottom, don't worry about it. And then just mist on top because they're just susceptible because they don't have, you know, runner roots coming out yet. You want them to get some sort of rooting system so it can take hold. Then you'll see the leaf growth. So if you can squeeze it and water comes out, it's too wet. So squeeze the water out, then you can use it.
Awesome. And let's see here. Let's grab another one real quick. Serena was asking fans. Do you, what point do you put a fan on your plants? Do you hard them off?
Yeah, I just posted this actually. I on all my Des and I've been soil blocking and it's been awesome results, especially
I love soil blocking
stuff. And I put a fan on mine because I started to see my zucchinis falling over. I'm like, oh, too late. Like they rebounded, but I think even when they get a little long, if you see any sort of legginess to them, make sure you get that fan on them, and then they'll start hardening off.
Perfect. Excellent.
Oh, I think.
Oh, Destiny, Mike.
Sorry. I start a lot of my seeds in my garage under grow lights, and so I always have a fan going because it's just so hot and humid here in Houston. Whether it's hot or cold, I just always have some kind of air movement. You get fungal issues with your seed starts and things like that. So it's just always have some kind of circulation going on in the garage with that. I didn't realize I had a dehumidifier really close to my garage, and it was drying out my seed starts. So be mindful of that. Be mindful of that.
A little counterproductive there, right?
Yeah, for sure. Live and learn.
I actually have a fig question. I don't know if it's a stupid question. I've heard something about bees or wasps going into the fig. And dying inside the fig.
It's one of the most beautiful fertilization processes that are figs and the ficus family does, right?
Tell us about it.
The majority of figs grown do not have a fig wasp in them. They are common figs. They are parthenocarpic, which means they are self-ripening, but they are not self-fertile. Someone asked earlier about trying to grow from seed, and unless they are caprified, then they will not produce viable seeds. And caprification is exactly that. There is the specific, I think it's like blastophagia, I forget the full scientific name, of the fig wasp that is dedicated to the Ficus corica species. And they live in the male figs, which are called the caprifigs. And they have colonies inside of them, male and female. Only the females can fly out and recolonize another male fig, but they may inadvertently crawl into a female fig, bringing with it pollen from that male fig and caprifying the fig. They embed themselves into the figs before they ripen, and the enzymes actually break down the wasp completely before it even swells. And so you're never actually, unless it ripens and you open it up and some bug maybe crawls in there afterwards, you're never actually going to eat that wasp. So be safe out there, vegans.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of, if you get obsessed about a plant, figs are pretty fun to get obsessed about. So
wow. Yeah, I heard something about it and I wasn't sure, and I figured you're the perfect person to ask.
Yeah. You asked the right person. It's fascinating. The only place in the United States the fig wasp exists is California. And the reason that they were brought over from the Spanish missionaries. And so the mission fig was also brought over at that same time. And so the colonies were able to come over with the male figs. They somewhat knew that the wasp had something to do with the pollination process. And so they brought them over and cultivated it. But since they all spread all over, and when you have viable fig seeds, you might get males and females. The colony thrives in California because they're temperature sensitive. So there.
So then are there those certain figs that require that you're not able to grow in other regions?
Yeah, there's a few. In fact, this is where it gets interesting. You have your Smyrna figs and the Calamerna figs that require the fig wasp in order to ripen their figs. And then you have San Pedro varieties. And so some fig varieties have a breba crop, which forms on last year's wood, and a main crop, which forms on this year's wood. And last year's wood, that is self-ripening on San Pedro varieties, but the main crop requires the fig wasp. And so these San Pedro varieties still require the fig wasp for some of those figs.
Wow. Makes you appreciate the pollinators even more so, when you think about it that way.
Oh, yeah. It's such an acute speciation of where it's just fig wasp is just for the figs. And other fig species that you see in Ficus sycamora and all these 20 other types of ficus I'm reading about in the tropical rainforest all have a specific fig wasp just for their tree.
Wow. That is really fascinating.
That's remarkable.
Yeah, figs are amazing, aren't they? Right. And again, like I said, we got all the questions are coming in for Phil. You bring someone in here who knows about figs like this, and here we go. We got all sorts of
some burning
questions. Rose and peppers, you got a guy too.
I'm happy for it. It's cool.
We'll get you in there. Yeah.
Urban
Homestead is asking. I have two.
Birds have eaten most of the figs. The bird netting does work. It works for squirrels too. If you have squirrel issues, get the bird netting. And I just kind of and wrap the bottom because the squirrels will get under it. They're smart enough.
Mm.
Hey
Birds, too.
Phil, how did that go last year?
What's that? They went well. I just had a bunch of lollipop trees out there.
No,
what's that?
did you or did you not get bit by a squirrel last year?
I got bit by a squirrel last year.
Yes, bit by a squirrel last year.
I tried to help the guy, and then
two out of three of the hosts of the garden party have been bit by squirrels.
Oh my!
What are you guys doing to squirrels?
I guess the other one was Des, right? Of course,
the nature tax, right? The nature tax is fine. It's when the nature says you can't have any figs. I'm like, that's not fair. I brought the trees here. You got to share a little bit, and so I put the nets on them. And sure enough, I tried to get the squirrel out, and I got it clipped. And right when I got it free, it turned around and it bit me. And I said, dang it, I have to go Google if squirrels have rabies. And then they don't.
I would do the same thing.
You're going to survive that bite. That's great. Oh,
that's so funny, man.
This question here, Dusty Flat says, what would Phil do if he had a vole infestation?
I would get a dog because I grew up in Pennsylvania where there were voles everywhere. And my dog he was a standard poodle. I know, not a very manly dog, but she went in there and she would dig out the voles, and she got rid of them. So,
wow.
What is a vole? What is a vole? It's a mixture between a mole and a mouse.
Yeah, they look like they do things like moles do, but they look more like mice.
Oh, okay. Wow. I don't think we have those in Texas.
We have
I've never had it.
Big paws, blind eyes, like.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I would think, for me, I'm a cat guy, so get them cats. My cats keep a lot of the rodent problems around and stuff as well.
He took down a vole once.
Yeah,
but I would say I know with a lot of raised beds, people will put hardware cloth under them, so that they can keep the voles from getting it into your raised bed. So
that's a good tactic.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So, Destin, you mentioned that for any first-time Texas gardener, you'd recommend peppers being the first crop. Do you have any favorite pepper varieties that you've grown over the years or that you're growing right now?
I'm a big fan of. So I will tell Phil knows this. I'm not a spicy pepper eater. I grow a lot of peppers. My wife likes them. We make a lot of pepper powder. Everybody enjoys them, but I don't do spicy at all.
Jelly.
Yeah, we do a lot of pepper jelly as well. But I've been kind of partial to the Hasenator jalapenos. I actually got some plugs in from him last week. They weren't quite big enough to go into the ground, so I put them in some pots. But they look really well, and they put out a ton of jalapenos. For me, it's just the heat. When here in Houston, we get like a spring that's maybe a month long, where it's like mild temperate weather. I mean, it feels like it's already like 110 degrees in my greenhouse right now. It's hot. It's already. So I mean, when it gets hot here, the only thing that grows is okra and peppers, because everything else is lost to bugs, lost to the heat, lost to everything else. So peppers, okra, and eggplant is about all you can grow in the middle of summer sometimes. So that's why I say, if people are going to start out, do that, because you're a lot less likely to be discouraged and not want to continue growing, because tomatoes can sometimes, be something where people get into them, they fail, and then they're like, no, I'm not gardening anymore, So peppers, I feel like they're a little bit more forgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tomatoes can be a real challenge for sure. And I think that's why peppers for me too became one of those first real, solid plants, solid things that I really enjoyed growing. Again, you just can't beat the type of variety that you can get, not just, sweet varieties, hot varieties, everything in between, them and the super hots. But then the plants are really cool too, with their own different types of characteristics as well. They're just really cool between varieties and all of that. Have you what kind of your favorite varieties as far as plants that you've grown? I haven't got to try a variegated one yet, which I'm still trying to get my hands on some seeds like that. But I really love growing. In fact, Natalie, you grow for your tent. One of my favorites that I like is the Chinese 5 color.
It's my
It's kind of a
favorite.
cool, because it's not just a hot plant, but it can be an ornamental for your
Yeah, it was
garden as well.
actually in the promo right before this segment in
Yeah.
the
That was
garden.
it.
Yeah, I did the Chinese 5 color with the purple
Yeah.
and the red and the orange. It was gorgeous. Honestly, one of the
It's
best
like
plants
Willy
I've ever
Wonka almost. Like it was insane.
Really prolific,
It is
bushy
such a
too.
showstopper. Yeah, it turns into a full-on tree, and you get all the colors through the ripening stages. It's beautiful. But
I like
now,
that they're bigger. They look like they're bigger than a typical ornamental, because the typical
Yeah.
ornamentals, you get tired of
Yeah,
picking
they're
those
like-
little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate picking the little ones so much.
and now my favorite is the mocha swirl, which Enoch, you have to try that one. I know you just said variegated. It's a variegated pepper plant.
Yes.
I know we had a couple people in the chat actually get some seeds and try it, or they're going to try it, because it's just Destin, you should try it. It's a sweet pepper variety, and
That's cool.
it's called the mocha swirl. It's beautiful, and it's awesome. It's like a sweet green pepperish kind of taste.
Wow.
It's really good.
Ooh.
They're
That's
smaller.
pretty.
They're not like a bell pepper, but they're so good, and they're a beautiful plant.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah, you should give those a try.
I've been going for some patio tomatoes. That like patio, like it's my tomato variety is like smaller, more compact tomatoes, and then the peppers this year. That way, like I'm this year I'm looking for like stress-free gardening. I've just got so much going on. They're like in the past years, I've overwhelmed myself with too many plants and all this stuff. So like this year, I'm trying to be as like efficient as possible with my gardening, because I'm running.
Brilliant part of
I've
it
really
too.
cut myself down to just a handful of varieties of peppers. I'll usually grow some, I'll say, I'm going to do only like 15, and I end up with like 25,
Yeah.
or I'm only going to do this many.
That's
And
gardening
I
now.
literally limited myself down. I think I've got 6 varieties in total. And one of them I'm growing a bunch of, because I'm trying to picking out a certain characteristic of a sugar rush peach that I grew out years ago. So I've been kind of taking new seeds each year from a variety and getting more and more of a percentage of it's what I call the sugar rush peach puckered. Like people have done like these striped versions of them and everything, but I had one where instead of like a nice pointy tip, it like grew inverted. The tip grew inside. So I started collecting those, and now I've got plants that are coming out about 70% of those type of puckered varieties on there. So I can get it up and keep it more consistent over the next year or two. Then I can start giving away seeds and everything as kind of a new variety. But
I learned that the hard way when I first started growing. Some of the first seeds I germinated were bell pepper, and I didn't know what I was doing. I germinated like 100 of them. And they all sprouted.
They all.
I grew them all. I was like, I can't get rid of these now, and it was overwhelming. But it's very easy to, okay, we'll start with 5, and then next thing you know, you tripped and fell and have like 200 plants.
Yeah,
it's so
I
true.
knew because of how busy I was. I had to cut it down.
Like, I mean, heck, I have a plant nursery now with like 200 fig trees, but like you get in that flow state, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, and it's alive, and now I got to keep it alive. Oh, I got to put it in a bigger pot. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna do that for that one. Oh, I have like 50 of these. Like, and then your like wife maybe like, hey, let's drop them off at your office. And you're like, that's a good idea. And you take them to the office,
Then you have your workspace, your home space. Everything is just plants everywhere.
Yeah.
How about you, Phil? You like some peppers, hot peppers?
I got kind of I figured out how to overwinter pepper plants.
Okay.
And so I have 2 of them that are like 4 years old, and they have like a woody trunk on them now. Wow. And what is great is like I prune them back, and I dig them up, and I put them in pots with some fresh potting mix, and then I seldomly water them. I put them in a dark place in my garage, just to see if they can and I'm probably like 80% efficiency when I do this. But when I bring them back out in the spring, or if they wake up early, I put them in the greenhouse for those last few weeks before spring. They wake up and they immediately start flowering and fruiting. So because they think they're a mature plant. So you don't have to spend all that time waiting for it to grow and mature. So they wake up right away growing, and I just drop them back into the garden beds again, which I kind of learned from hearing people do it. And I applied that to fig trees, digging them up in the fall and stuff too. So it's kind of awesome.
It is pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah, because pepper plants in the right conditions, if you keep them that way, are really perennials. If you think about it, they're going to grow year. I've seen people with big, giant, plants that have been growing for years. Still just producing regularly. But I've never had one like I don't live in that kind of zone, but I would love to. You know what I mean? But be able to keep one that growing
See if you
so
keep them
big,
going. Yeah,
large,
it'd
just
be
keep 'em
awesome.
going. Yeah.
You get like a pepper tree, but yeah,
I've seen people turn them into bonsais. I've seen people turn them into bonsai trees. Like they get like nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that would be cool too.
Yeah.
But hot varieties though, can you handle them? Can you handle the heat?
I can handle them. I have some nice chili peppers that I like the Thai chilies that I think are awesome, and I'll put that in. And then I have the sweet ones too. But like my summertime medley is like okra, tomatoes, peppers, and then put hot peppers in there, maybe some onions, and like you can have that with all three meals. So as a side dish on top of toast, eggs, what have you. And so that's always kind of going in my house. So if I can get some of those Thai chilies and jalapenos, those are fantastic.
Yeah. Not too hot though, right?
No, I don't need to like melt my mouth off. Like I'll watch Hot Ones every once in a while, and I'm like, I'll watch them deal with that. Like I would stop at 7,
I'm the same way too. I mean, I've tested a couple of peppers and regretted it for sure. But I'm not that big into the hot peppers. But again, as a plant nerd, I just love growing peppers just because of, like I said, these just cool characteristics they have in so many different ways throughout all the different varieties.
I guess the background of it is that you get endorphins after a certain tolerance of spice because it's your body rewarding you for eating the pepper because it has such high levels of vitamin C and other vitamins. So it's your body rewarding you for going for it anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like that's just an excuse.
And that doesn't apply to hot sauces, right? Like, like you get the bioavailable nutrients of something spicy. Yeah. It probably has to be the pepper itself, but it is a defense mechanism, right? So who knows? Yeah. I think that I heard that. I can't go on Google Scholar right now or like have Vikram fact check me, but like. Which he does, but that was something that I heard. I was like, why are we pursuing spicy foods? And some people,
a strange thing I learned about peppers from a pepper person who did lots and lots of videos and tests on it and everything is that one of the big misconception is that the pepper seeds are hot. When actually the seeds themselves don't carry any heat at all. It's because they're in the pith and they're in that what they call the placenta of the pepper plant is why it holds and has the oils on the outside shell of the seed. But if you were to remove the oils and just eat pepper seeds, there would be no heat to them at all.
Interesting.
People believe that the seeds are what makes it the hottest. So like you get it like a sauce and it's got lots of seeds in it and all that. People are like, it's got seeds in it. It's gonna be really hot. And that's what makes it hot. But actually it's the seeds. It's just the oils from the pith and the placenta. Yeah, it's crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is really interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Always weird little things you can learn about plants that you never thought.
Peeling back the layers of the onion,
Yeah.
So, Destin, what do you got growing on in your garden right now? Is it you mentioned the weather's getting hot there? What's going on in your garden?
Yeah, no, I got tomatoes, peppers. The cucumbers kind of got whipped it's been really windy. So the cucumbers that I soil blocked, transplanted them in the garden. They got a little bit whipped by the wind, but the squash is doing okay. So I'm probably going to go ahead and go back and direct seed a bunch of cucumbers. Get those trellised and everything. It's got hot really quick, and then I think we're gonna be back in the low 40s like early next week, which is gonna be weird. It's Texas weather. It's crazy. So a lot going on. And then I'm planting some more fig trees. So I moved some fig trees around, and I'm trying to block my neighbors, like all my neighbors. I'm trying to put fig trees, pomegranates, and mulberries to like where there's an entire like just tree fence. around my entire
I'm gonna
backyard.
take a
So,
page out of your book. I gotta do that too.
yeah, I
Mhm.
hate my,
Hey,
I
if
hate
they
my
get big
neighbors.
enough, then you could put in that outdoor shower you wanted, and then I'm gonna
Hey,
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 we talk about that
Mhm.
because I have an outdoor shower, which is
you're
pretty
right.
fixed, but
Yeah,
yeah,
those
You're
are.
right.
being near the beach with everyone gets the beach vibes and wants to put an outdoor shower.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you
Absolutely.
got it if they're that close to the beach, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Jay's asked real quick here. What motivated you, Destin, to build a raised bed in your most recent video?
Oh, I have to do everything in raised beds or pots just because my soil is just like clay, concrete. It's like digging in concrete. It doesn't drain, so everything has to be in raised beds or in pots just because nothing
Hmm.
will survive in the ground in my house for the most part. Even the trees that I planted, they're in raised beds, along the fence, and there's really nothing in the ground in my house because it's just the soil that they built our subdivision in. They just bring in cheap fill dirt and it doesn't drain. So that's the reason why everything is above the ground.
Yeah. So also, that's kind of leads into more fig questions for Phil. Any tips for growing figs in containers?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What if you have good potty mix? I put in a little soil conditioner just to aerate it up a little bit, and then it still breaks down into organic matter. And I think that's awesome. Do not put rocks in the bottom of your pot. Just put it in the mix and let it grow. And like if you want to do grow bags, you totally can. They will airproof themselves, but they'll eventually grow into those bags over time. And but I do the 1 inch rule with watering. And if you live in hot places, it's not that your soil is dry sometimes, it's that the pot is getting hot itself and can stress the roots. So just watering in the
Yep.
morning can just benefit that much more. And then how often to water, I always tell people the 1 inch rule. So stick your finger into the pot. If it's dry more than an inch down, water your fig tree and you're good to go.
Yeah.
So water in the morning for the heat, and then the 1 inch rule if it gets dry.
Excellent. Excellent. Here, real quick, too.
Yeah, they're like
Wickershire
the
was
best
asking
in
either.
containers.
They do. All of mine are in containers, and they do
Yeah,
really
they
well.
just keep,
These just really
they
well.
just grow. They're like the goldfish in a pond. They grow to the size of the container they're in. They'll never take over if they stay in a container.
Yeah. All right. Wickershire asks, has hard, rocky clay compacted soil? Is there any chance you can get a certain type of fig to grow here with a little soil prep? Thoughts?
Yeah, they can. I mean, I've seen figs grow out of like the cracks in an Italian village, sidewalk. So like they can do it. If you have really compacted clay soil, like you would try to plant any other tree, like you don't want to create the bowl effect, right? So if you get out there, make sure you put all those edges and cuts into the side of where you're digging, and then mix the soil in with some of that clay so it gets a little bit of acclimation, and put like a big pile of compost, mix the clay in with it, and so good kind of like transition zone for it to creep out and go into the other spots. Would you agree, Dustin?
I think so too. I mean, I've figs are crazy. Figs are the one thing like I can plant in my soil and they'll do fine.
It's just a matter of getting them started in there. It's that same, like those first few years, you do it right, and then they will forever pay back to you.
Yeah, I've had them grow out of pots and into other pots. It's weird. They're nuts. It's crazy.
That's great. That's great. All right. Well, here's a question a little bit different than figs, but does Phil have any tips on an avocado trees? I have 3 here in Southern California.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
I killed one, so it was 12 feet tall though, and I kept it in my greenhouse, and I think it ended up being rootstock. But here's what I learned is that you have A/B pollinators, right? So certain avocado varieties are A pollinators, certain are B, and that's when their flowers open. And depending on the variety you have, they may need the B or they may need the A. And so even if they are type A or type B, so figure out the strains you have, like a Lila or a Haas. And remember, the seeds from Haas's aren't going to be a direct parent because it's a mutation. So all Haas avocados are grafted branch from a mutation. And so just be mindful of that when you're growing avocados from seed. But on avocado trees, just be mindful of your pollinators. And there are some that are self-pollinating, but it always helps to have a buddy.
Yes.
You grow avocados there, Destin?
I don't like avocados.
No.
Phil and Des know this from hanging out with me. I'm kind of a picky eater. Like I don't know. It's a texture.
But you know,
I, it,
he has expanded his horizon so much, man.
There you go.
I feel
Definitely.
like that's with gardening, that's a lot of the case. What's one thing that either of you have never eaten or tried or taken interest in until you started gardening? Is there anything that you wouldn't have tried or eaten unless you gardened?
I'm a
Squash.
garbage disposal, so that's hard to say, except for like certain cheeses that just I don't agree. But my
Dude's a
kid-
garbage. Dude is a garbage disposal. Dude is a garbage disposal.
Just feed it in.
yeah, but my kids, I planted bush beans with them and from seed, and they get to watch it grow. So I use my kids as a perfect example. If they see it growing, they are way more into eating it. When they're like, "That's where green beans comes from," I'm like, "Yep," and they just eat it. They watch me do it. They get to do the same, and so it's been a great way to introduce my kids to healthy food.
No, that's the key. That's the key. You know, was it Ron Finley years and years ago said, you know, kids who grow tomatoes eat tomatoes, you know, and I was very similar, Destin. I was a picky eater when I was a kid. You know, I hardly touched any of the veggies. You know, it was just, you know, there was a lot that I wasn't going to be touching when I was younger. But, you know, as you're saying, Natalie, that as you get older, you know, and you start growing and start gardening yourself, now I'm, you know, that kid again, I suppose, and getting reintroduced to some of these things that I never thought I would eat. And for me, Brussels sprouts was a big one. Like, there's no way everyone else touched that when I was a kid. You know, those little slimy little Brussels sprouts and stuff. But it was such a fun, challenging plant to grow when I was starting to first learn how to garden, that it took me like 3-4 seasons in before I finally got a plant that really produced some. And so it was like, man, I grew this, I got them to grow some really nice, I've now got to try Brussels sprouts and do it. And you know, it was great. It was, you know, found a good recipe and cooked some up, and it was just really wonderful. And I was like, man, I've been missing out. So again, to find out we're missing out on some really stuff that we wouldn't normally think of, you know.
Sure. And when you grow your own, you get all these varieties or access to seeds of things that you can't typically find in the grocery store. So you get to try out new things, which is like, you know, if I go to the store for peppers, I'm not going to find a Marconi Rosso pepper or a mocha swirl pepper. They don't have that kind of stuff. So it's definitely, you know, cool to grow your own.
I love Brussels sprouts. I love them.
Yeah. Brussels sprouts are good.
Yeah. It was a big surprise, you know, for sure. And again, and a challenge to grow though too. So I don't know. Have you grown Brussels sprouts in Texas?
It is a challenge because they're so slow growing. We have a very short winter span, and so it's hard for me to grow them as often as I eat them. Like I'll eat Brussels sprouts 2 times a week. And so there's some things that, you know, I have such a limited space and I would need a bunch of them to actually get a good crop, you know? So like some things like Brussels sprouts, I just buy them because like for me, I would need a 100-foot row for it to make sense, just because it's so time consuming. They kind of get pretty big. They get pretty big too.
You can,
And then our colder season for those isn't quite long enough, I feel like. It's just, so I just buy them. And there's a couple things I found, like Brussels sprouts, you know, snap peas, if I like those too. And just like, I'd grow a bunch of them to like make it worth my while, because I could grow a tomato in that same space and get a bunch of tomatoes. So like we were talking about earlier, like we're learning about how to efficiently grow in your garden and figure out what grows best in what area. You know, it's like when you have a small space, you have to be as efficient as possible. And like Brussels sprouts, I would love to grow a ton of them, but they would take up my entire garden. You know, to make up like what I want to eat. Yeah, I eat a lot. I eat a lot of them.
Yeah. One other one though too that I was really picky about when I was a kid. I wish I could grow and had it, because I have to do mostly containers and things, not too much in ground, but asparagus. I love asparagus nowadays. When I was a kid, I would never have touched asparagus.
I figure out like you find the way you like to cook it too. So like when you get older, you're like, oh, I can put this on the grill, and like you put it on the grill. It doesn't feel like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
and you're like,
exactly.
oh,
And it's also something that you can just, it's a perennial thing where it comes back every year. So you can just like have like Phil was talking about having like a bed, like a strawberry bed, like you can kind of interplant strawberry and asparagus together.
oh,
Yeah.
That's cool.
that's good to know. But I will say, like, gardening enhances some of those. Like, when I was a kid, I wasn't a huge fan of tomatoes, but like as an adult, like the tomatoes you grow in the garden taste so much different than a grocery store one, right?
So much better.
Figs you buy at the grocery store aren't fully ripe, so they're gonna be kind of bland. That's why people cook with them. But you get a fresh fig off the tree, that's why they're worth growing,
Yeah.
There's certain things that I just don't even buy from the grocery store anymore, even though they're things that used to be staples in my household. They're not tasty anymore. And I feel like it's just a waste of money. So if I'm not growing it, I'm not buying it.
Your salads must be amazing in that base coming out.
My salads are so good. And I literally live off salad. I have salad.
Yeah, because you can just go like literally it's as fresh as it could be. Like you just put it in your bowl.
Yeah, and it's cut and come again, right? So I go down and I don't spray anything on my plants really. So I don't have to wash the lettuce. I go down, cut it, and like fresh salad right on the spot. I've even brought salad dressing down to the grow tent with a bowl.
There you go.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
When I'm really, if I'm working really hard, normally,
hey, I get it.
No eating in the grow tent.
It's like my dad had stories like he would just bring a salt shaker out into the garden,
Seriously, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper for your tomatoes, a knife to slice them, and you're good to go.
Yeah. And for me, like as just being the only one I'm really feeding around here, that's how I do it most of the days. Most things I don't even, I'll freeze some stuff and make some things up with certain things, but I'm a grazer. I go out every day and I'm going to grab this, grab that, take these and eat it right out of the garden space.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best way to go. And then I don't even have to worry about lunch later because I'll fill myself up just snacking on things around the garden. I love it.
So are you both kind of not reliant, but do you both grow kind of to feed yourselves and your families, or do you grow extra to give away to people or share with the community, or are you growing just to show people how to grow? Tell us a little bit about.
I grow just to grow. Like I like growing some of the, like, I think I go back to that having fresh figs is such a unique experience that's what I obsess over, right? And then I'm moving into the other fruit trees like citrus and pears and pomegranates and the stuff that kind of can get expensive at the grocery store, but that is really good for you and tastes really good. I kind of am like trying to set that up for myself, but I'm not trying to, I don't think I have the space to be homesteading or subsidize a whole lot, but if I can have produce that helps me eat healthier and educate at the same time, I think that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, love that. That's awesome. What about you, Destin?
Yeah, I mean, space-wise, it's hard to, really generate enough to like where it's going to be like replacing a whole lot. But, we do get, a lot of peppers, a lot of, quite a bit of tomatoes. If I grow okra, I only need to grow okra like once every 2 years because we just have enough okra for forever. And then figs, but we make fig jelly. We make, pepper jelly. We make peppered powder. We make, we can a lot, we dehydrate things. And so we do consume a lot of what we eat, but we also will be selling jellies. My wife will sell them at her school to other teachers or at the church things. And so it's pretty cool. I mean, you can kind of do what you want. I mean, but it's hard when you have like Phil eating all your figs. I mean, well, the ones he gets from the squirrels, for me, at a certain point I get tired of picking figs and like, hey, mockingbirds, have at them, so I definitely feed my neighborhood birds, and now with the figs growing over the fence, probably feeding my neighbors too. So.
But you have to understand, like, there's certain like peppers. You go to the grocery store, it's like $2 a pepper. I'm like, that's banana land, So if I get like 10 pepper plants going, I don't have to buy peppers for 6 months, or 5 months. And that's
not to mention who knows what they're sprayed with and all kind. I mean, if you're not getting organic, you don't know what goes into it. At least when you grow it yourself,
Right.
Right.
And if there's a bug or a spot on it, that's fine. I just cut around it, you know?
Totally cool.
Yeah, and even the term organic, like what's organic at the grocery store, you know,
Right.
like
Exactly.
because you can still
Is
put a
it
lot of stuff.
organic?
You can still put a lot of stuff on it with it being organic. You can still do a lot of
That's
things.
true.
But that term means a lot of things to a lot of different people. So
There's a lot of
Yeah.
things that are approved or, you know, deemed organic that should not be. So
yeah,
you gotta be, you definitely have to think critically and be careful when it comes to that stuff.
for sure.
Yeah. One of my biggest reasons, you know, first off, when I first started growing and gardening and, you know, growing my own food was thinking about the chemicals and the things that you're getting from the stuff at the grocery store. That was my first real big, like, I got to move away from that, you know? And that's when I, you know, first started growing and expanding my garden out just more than just the little things I was doing. I was like, oh no, and it was just starting to grow my first like cucumber, my first tomatoes and things like that opened my eyes to all of that stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it was just like, wow, I just didn't realize there was that much going on with the food that we're purchasing from the store. So it was immediately like, oh, now how do I expand this? How do I grow more? Because I don't want to, you know, I don't want to be getting my things from that, you know, from those sort of sources. And then again, like you said, even organic, you got to be kind of careful and want, you know, I don't do anything to my plants. You know, you know, barely any organic type of sprays and stuff, you know, I'll do under more extreme situations where I'm really trying to deal with something that's just out of my control. But for the most part,
that's
I
like
just
an
don't
order
want
of operations, right? You pick
Yes.
you start from somewhere and you try to be as sustainable as you can with the process until
Mhm.
you have some level of tolerance and acceptance of what you can and cannot grow and what you want to apply to something, and you treat it
Yeah.
accordingly.
Yeah, and like I said, I just think it really comes with the process of learning and starting a garden, and then all of a sudden you realize this stuff is similar as we were talking about foods that we like, you know, things that, you know, we just kind of learn more about that as we're growing and gardening, and what a great reason to start growing and gardening, but to expand, you know, again, the foods that you get to enjoy and where and you're getting them from and what's being put on them and that sort of stuff is important.
Oh yeah.
Right on, everybody. Man, I can't believe it. Like we were saying earlier too, I have to kind of keep my eye on the clock every now and then because the conversation will just keep on rolling and rolling and rolling. The time just flies right on by. But here real quick though, before we do let you guys go here, again, sort of like we started off, you know, just a little kind of plug for your channels and the show and all that sort of stuff. Let us know where you're, you know, what you got growing on, and let's go ahead and start with Phil.
Yeah, I just finished my cuttings for the year, and so I'm propagating my own trees, and so I have some events that I'm going to be selling fig trees at here in the North Carolina area coming up at the Hobby Greenhouse Club of Wilmington this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Forest Hills. We have our plant sale, so I'm a member there. So we'll be selling fig trees and all the members get to sell and showcase their favorite things too. And so you get to see all these other people that are also greenhouse growers out promoting their favorite things and selling them to the community. I will be selling in Brunswick County and Leland and a few other events, but in mid-May is when I do my online sales for fig trees. So if you guys want some fig trees, I'm going to be launching those for shipment. Normally it's the beginning of May, but cold winter. But mid-May, I'll have trees for sale. So sign up at philsfigs.com. And if you want to learn how to grow figs,
Canada?
What's that?
Do you ship to Canada?
I can't do Canada. Are you in Canada?
Yeah, I am.
Oh man. I can check with Brian. I wonder if Brian can ship to Canada. Brian Melton.
I think he can.
And he's a good.
Yeah,
West
I'd
Coast
be interested.
resource. Yeah.
To try my hand at a fig tree.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, it can barely keep other things alive, but why not throw something else into the mix?
Why not?
What's the most recommended variety that you'll have available?
The most recommended? Oh man,
Yeah.
depends where you are. But
yeah.
I have this big honey fig called Troiona calabrese that is very like an Atriana type fig, but it's big, it's green, it's like a big ball of honey. And I think it's like takes like 4 bites to eat it. And I'll send pictures at some point. I should post it on Instagram and stuff. But
wow,
I love that fig.
That's awesome.
All right, how about you, Destin?
Oh, I am Texas Garden Guy, and you can find me everywhere as Texas Garden Guy. I will be doing an event at Jorge's Hidden Gardens this Saturday. It's gonna be an awesome time. We'll have a garden tour, and then we're gonna be selling some of our native Texas sage that we grew from plugs. We've been kind of cataloging as they've grown back in February, and so we're excited to sell them and get some native plants in people's landscapes.
Right on, right on. And also too, I mean, you guys did last year are you guys planning any get-togethers this year?
The Fig Towerfest. We are
Oktoberfest
planning
in
on.
October,
Yes.
Okay.
I think is
Yes.
the plan.
More
Still
details
plan.
on that soon. Just we're still recovering from the last one.
Still recovering
It
from
was
the last one.
it's so much fun, and it's just
Yeah.
fun to see other fig growers and that are like passionate about it. But and like Texas has a really robust garden community. Like the whole
Mhm.
state is insane into the gardening and farm culture, and then figs too. Like most of Texas, you can grow figs, so that's pretty cool to meet everybody that gets into it.
Oh yeah, Phil's way more popular than me. Whenever we have Big Towerfest, like it's like I live right here, but everybody's like, "Where's Phil?"
I know, right?
And they all have his
We're
figs.
here to
Like,
talk figs, man. We need Phil here.
Texas buys a lot of fig cuttings from Phil.
It's not just if anyone who gets into figs, there's a really cool fig community out there across the country. Like I know really popular fig growers in Northeast with like Ross, and there's like Fig Talk with all these Chicago guys, and then you got all the West Coast growers too, with Pro Fig and the Fig Hunter too, who finds his own varieties, right? So like you have a diaspora of fig growers in the U.S., which is pretty rad.
Wow. Right on, right on. And you guys didn't mention as well, though, and I will mention again, everybody, Wednesday nights, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, over at the Texas Garden Guys channel. You've got the Garden Party podcast where you can find these two, along with Gardening with Dez on most weeks, right? And I know Josh is dropping in every now and then. We had Josh on the show a few
He's our
weeks
trivia
back,
guy,
So,
yeah.
So,
yep, he'll be here this week. Yeah, he'll be here. He's on every first Wednesday.
Okay, yeah, Josh, the plant techie. He was one of our previous guests here on the Green Room as well.
He's awesome.
And any guests you want to let us know you got coming up?
We got a surprise guest coming on Wednesday for
surprise. Even okay, there we go.
It's April Fool's Day, so we gotta have this fool. No. Not.
It could be.
Could be.
Yes. We'll. But no, we will have Enoch on soon, and
we have to have both you guys on. This is
that's what I'm saying. We get both of us together. Do the party. We'll do the party over there sometime.
Swap.
Perfect.
That's right. Exactly.
Swapcast.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. I love it.
We ask the quick questions then.
All right.
That's right. Put us on the spot, huh?
Yeah.
Get a nice timer with a buzzer on it too.
We got to figure that out. It may just be me counting down.
Don't worry. Reach out to me. I can do it for you guys.
All right, cool.
I'll just send you guys the one we have.
Perfect.
Right. Well, awesome, guys. Thank you so much, you guys, for taking the time to be here with us and hang out with us on the Green Room here.
Yeah, thank you both so much.
Definitely.
Anytime.
Yeah. And until next time, we'll see y'all right back here in just one moment. Hey gardeners, thanks for tuning in to our show today. We'll be right back at it here in just a moment. I just wanted to take a second here to highlight our regular videos and features here on the Urban Gardener channel. Our weekly garden journals, and our incredible feature visits. All right. Here we are back at it.
We're back. That was an awesome conversation.
Yeah, again, like I said, I got to make sure I keep an eye on that clock, man. We run out of time real quick. But
Yeah.
yeah, another fun conversation, really awesome guests. And as I just mentioned just a minute ago, everybody go check them out if you haven't checked out their channels. And be sure to go check out the Garden Party podcast Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And maybe I'll see you all there for sure. And then maybe, maybe we'll both see you there sometime as a guest, maybe down the road. We'll see.
You never know.
But they sure were
thank
great
you.
guests.
Yeah, thank you to Destin and Phil. And thank you also to the chat for all your questions and just participating. And yeah, it always makes for a great show.
Yes, definitely, everybody. Thank you. So, yeah, lots of great questions again, too. Few that we weren't able to get to as well. But I'm sure, like I said, if you go find Phil over at Phil's Figs, you'll answer all those fig questions. And you got any Texas gardening questions, I'm sure the garden guy will be ready for them over on his channel, too. So definitely go and check them out over there. Leave them a comment on one of their videos and let them know you saw them here on the Green Room. Right on. We got lots and lots still coming up as well, too, here for the show. We got to get running through this here real quick here. Like I said, I got to keep an eye on my clock around here. But yeah, we got lots and lots going on here. Like every single month on the third Sunday of the month, we do have our monthly gardening book club. We got this month's selection is Emily Murphy's Grow Now. So come and join with us on April 19th. Talk all about her really great book, Grow Now, Go Beyond Organic, Rewild Your Land, Sequester Carbon, Support Biodiversity. Ought to be a really great conversation with Emily for our book club. And then this coming Saturday on the Let's Get Growing show, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, we've got joining with us Robin Jones from Honey Girl Grows will be joining with us, along with Michelle's Garden Grows as well, too. She'll be here with us as well for our Are You Following Me? We've had Robin on the show before. She's done lots of really awesome, cool projects with like beekeeping, gardening stuff, all sorts of things. But she's been doing some real cool traveling around the world. So we've got some really cool things to catch up with her on for this next Saturday on the show. And then for the Sunday edition of the show, I know we got lots going on around here. We've got another appointment with Dr. Jeff. Dr. Jeff will be joining with us, talk about gardening as medicine. We'll be talking about social connection and how a garden can be really healthy for us in the sense of social connection, what we can do in gardening for that. So that'll be a great conversation with Dr. Jeff on next Sunday edition. And then, of course, we're back at it again, Natalie. We're back at it again next Monday for the Green Room. And next Monday's guests are, we've got Reckless Garden joining with us and Mike from Keep On Growing. They'll be here for the conversation here on the Green Room next week.
For that one.
Next Monday. Right on. So that's a lot we got growing on over here on the Let's Get Growing show. Tell us a little bit about what you've got growing on for the Fresh Princess, again, with all of your daily live streams.
Busy work week. Just a lot of scrubbing, cleaning, and planning. All things that I don't enjoy, but it's part of the job. So it's going to be a fun week ahead. The live streams should keep it fun and entertaining for me. I've got the community kind of, motivating me to keep going through. So thanks.
Keep pushing through. You can do it.
Pushing through. Yeah. We're almost there. So, when you can't grow plants, it can be a tough time. So just itching to get to the other side of the reset. So that's going to be this week.
Yeah. Ought to be great. Lots of great stuff. Again, too, you're at it every single day. So I'm sure you've got something great for us each and every day to keep us moving along in this new reset for your garden. And
absolutely.
We all really look forward to what comes next in this
and
new adventure for you.
The outdoor garden. So
that's
about that soon. So got my hands full. I'm sure same for yourself, right? You probably got more planning happening this coming week. More stuff.
Lots. Keeping the planning going, keeping the work going. We're gonna hopefully get lots of stuff in this next week. So Lots and lots to go. Hopefully all of you who've been joining us have a great week in your gardens and get a lots of stuff growing out there in your spaces. And we'll see all of you this next Saturday for our regular Let's Get Growing show. And again, back next Monday for another green room with Natalie and I. So we'll see all of you then.
Power out.